Hey, and welcome to a special late night edition of Rankum. I decided because of the Christmas holidays, I didn't want to do an episode on Sunday, which is making it so close to Christmas. I thought, let's do it Friday, and I've managed to find a small panel of people, but it's a panel nonetheless. But below me is Caleb Boatman, who's apparently got a green line beside him. Caleb, how's it
I
going?
don't know why this is here, but hi, Green Line. Thank you for coming to the show. This is my plus one. But no, this is going to be interesting. These are books. Apparently, these things existed before the internet, so that'll be interesting.
I mean, I bet you read a lot of books back in your old age. But
I killed a person with the book, the dictionary.
but also here is Cameron. Cameron, how's it going?
I'm doing good. You know, the last time that multiple members of Team 19 were here on an episode of Rankum, it was arguably the greatest and worst episode of Rankum ever made. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the animated sequels episode. It's the only episode of Rankum that has like an actual plot line, and it's incredible.
No,
so I'm excited.
It has subplots like that. Is
yeah, no, there's a full through. It's everything is going wild and it's great. Yeah, I like books. The number of films on my list that I have also read the book for is a lot lower than I would have expected. But hey, we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, and there's so many movies that qualify. Some of the things I said is when it comes to franchise, like I decided to make it harder on myself more than anything and go only one book per franchise because we could make a whole list with just the Harry Potter books and Lord of the Rings combined. We don't really want to do that. And also, if there's a book based on a true story, and there was made a movie, then that counts as well because it's still based on a book. But how the show works is we're going to go around in a round table discussion, and we're going to each person going to bring up a movie, then the other two say yes or no whether it makes the list. But yeah, I'm going to start with Caleb. Caleb, what's the first movie you're going to bring up?
Okay, well, there are. Am I there? I think I'm frozen. No, I'm here. Okay. There are three movies that are tied for my favorite movie of all time. Two of them, nothing to do with books. One of them, based on a book called The Accidental Billionaires, it is The Social Network. It's Aaron Sorkin. It's David Fincher. Perfect script. Amazing direction. I love this movie. I don't know if there's anything specifically that I can find wrong with it. I love it. It's amazing. Just Sorkin's dialogue is so brilliant, and I think the opening bar breakup scene is one of the best written scenes in like all of film ever. So yeah.
But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I completely forgot this was based on a book, but this is a great movie, and I really do love it. It's an easy yes for me. Cameron, what do you say about Social Network?
Yeah, Boatman got on this call, and I immediately went, "Hey, Boatman." I got an easy number one, and I went, "It's the one based on The Accidental Billionaires, isn't it?" And he went, "Yep." And it's a great movie. I just rewatched it. It's fantastic. Going off what Boatman said, I have a book literally just off camera that has an entire chapter breaking down the subtext of the opening scene in The Social Network, and it's incredible. Easy, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Social Network was the first one to make the list. Cameron, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
You know, let's keep the ball rolling in terms of movies based on books and books based on true stories. We're going again, still in. We're going to the 2000s now. Going to the year 2002. A film based off of an autobiography. Yeah, Boatman going. Directed by Steven Spielberg. We're going Catch Me If You Can. This is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. It's absolutely incredible. Leonardo DiCaprio is amazing as Frank Abagnale Jr. Tom Hanks is fantastic as Carl Hanratty. Christopher Walken is actually good, unironically, in a movie, but also 2 mice fell in a bucket of cream.
Hey, don't step on my territory, Sam.
Hey, listen, I can talk first. But no, I love this movie. It's fun. It's really cool. Yeah.
Caleb, what do you say about Catch Me If You Can?
I remember when me and Steve talking about this movie, he said, "You're going to play a waiter," and I said, "No. But what if I'm this guy's dad?" And he said, "Sure. I'm gonna go smoke a bowl with George Lucas." And then that's what happened. Little mice. I know this movie is amazing, and I love it. It's my favorite Spielberg movie. Walken as the dad, like legit, he's like silly Walken, but there's this like layer of desperation that works so well. And he's super young. Amy Adams is great. Martin Sheen is brilliant. Jennifer Garner's in like one scene and she's amazing. I probably my favorite Khan movie.
But yeah, Catch Me If You Can is going to be an easy use for me once again. I love this movie, and this is actually one of the rare instances of a book that's based on a true story, in which I actually read the book as well. It just captures every. I mean, well, they did leave some bits out, but what movie based on the book doesn't. So, it's back to me for my first nomination, and I'm going to go with probably one of my favorite Roald Dahl books and my favorite adaptations. I'm going for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the musical one. This is one that, well, yes, Roald Dahl is known for not liking this adaptation, but I do enjoy what they did this adaptation. It captures the spirit of the book, and even Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka is just perfect casting. Just has all the elements of caring, and then not know what to do when the kids fall into have an accident, but then knowing to get an Oompa Loompa and they'll take them somewhere. But this is just a fun movie, and I think the musical elements did work with this as well, and it just added a new dimension to this. But Cameron, what do you say about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
The thing is, this is not my favorite movie based on a book by Roald Dahl. I think Gene Wilder is incredible in this movie. It's really fun, but I don't love it. So I'm gonna say no.
Caleb, what do you say about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
This is really tough. I think I wish this wasn't your first pick, Malcolm, because I think if you would have brought this up closer towards the end when we're kind of, when we said no to some stuff, we're kind of needing to fill spots, I think I would have given this a yes. But there's so much that I have left that, we haven't been brought up yet. I think it was a little too. I wish this would have been brought up later, but right now I got to give a no, and I agree with Cam. It's not the best movie based on a Roald Dahl book. I think there is a better one. I don't know.
I think we're both thinking the same one, probably.
Probably isn't to say that, but yeah. So I got to give it a no. But it is. I think it's a really good movie.
It's why I secretly know you'd like to remake better with Johnny Depp.
Oh, goodness, no. I love Tim Burton, but no.
I would say I think Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is not awful, but it's not good.
But anyway, Caleb, we go back to you for your next nomination.
Okay. I'm going to bring in another fiction book. And I think it's a charming movie. And technically, and the book does this too, because the book, I believe anyway, I haven't actually read the book, but I believe the book kind of has the same structure of it being read to somebody, which is what this movie does. Peter Falk reads it. It is The Princess Bride. One of the most, if not the most, quotable movies of all time. Inconceivable. You killed my father, prepare to die. I don't think that means what you think it means. As you wish. So many great moments, so many great characters. I love that movie so much. I don't know anybody who actually hates The Princess Bride. I think it's a hard movie to hate, and it's a very easy movie to love. So I'm going to go with The Princess Bride.
But yeah, it's inconceivable that I will say anything but a yes to this. I love this movie. And yeah, I'm with you, Caleb. I don't know anyone out there that would hate this movie. I think if anyone in the community does, I think Brian Michaels hates a lot of movies, but I think he does like this one, but I don't know. But Cameron, what would you have said about Princess Bride?
It was on my short list. It wasn't like super high up on there. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't totally know what I would have said. I think it's a classic, but I don't go back to rewatch it a ton. And like I like it, but I don't love it as much as a lot of people do. So who knows what I would have said? I truly have no clue. I'm glad you went first.
Cameron, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
I'm trying to think how on brand for Cameron I go. Yeah, we're gonna go this one. I'm gonna bring up an animated film that is not the one that I'm assuming me and Boatman were both referencing when we talked about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'm instead gonna bring up an animated film based on a very, very fictional book released in the year 2010. It's me. I'm bringing up How to Train Your Dragon. Of course, I'm bringing up How to Train Your Dragon. This is incredible. I know, surprise, Cameron talking about How to Train Your Dragon on this show. Cameron making How to Train Your Dragon, once again, a big thing on Rankum when Team 19 is here. I love this movie. I think this movie is incredible. I think the animation is beautiful. I think it's super well directed for an animated film. It's incredibly well written. Toothless is just the most charming creature alive because he starts off as this like dark, dangerous figure, and then he just turns into a puppy. It's the best boy and his dog movie, except for all 17 films in the Air Bud series. Yeah. How to Train Your Dragon.
Caleb, what do you say about How to Train Your Dragon?
This is rough because I have the chance to. The last time How to Train Your Dragon was brought up, you betrayed us. You were the chosen one. But also, this movie's really good, so I can't do that. So I think I'm gonna say yes because it's hard to say no to How to Train Your Dragon. It's a very basic plot line, but they do everything they can with it. I've seen that story a million times before, but that is the best version of that story. So yeah, yes.
And for the people at home saying 2 is better than 1, you're entitled to that opinion.
I also agree 2 is better than 1, but I don't think 2 is technically based on a book, so I don't think it's eligible.
1 is very loose in terms of the original book, so.
But there's no reference point for 2.
I guess we could let Malcolm speak. This is show.
Oh, yeah.
For those that didn't know, I've watched all the How to Train Your Dragon movies for the first time this year. So, and I really enjoyed them. When Kevin was going, that when Kevin sort of started off, he said animated movie based on the book. My mind instantly went to another franchise in the same company, which may or may not come up later. But
Oh no, Malcolm.
but this would have been an easy yes for me anyway.
It's your turn, Malcolm. You could bring it up, and me and Bowman will both say no right away, and we'll get it over with.
Oh, I mean, if it comes up, it won't be for me anyway. I know the feelings on that movie, so but it is back to me, and I'm going to take a risky move because I don't know if either of you have seen this one, because it is a New Zealand movie based on a book. I'm going for Once We're Warriors. This is a really tough movie to watch, because this deals with the Maori family dealing with poverty, abuse, and so much. It's one that really does highlight a lot of issues that was going around back in the 90s and all that when it comes to that, like, Maori family. And it was written by the book by Alan Duff, and this is just a great movie. I don't know if this one particularly got outside of New Zealand over there, but I thought I'll bring it up because I get talk about it. The performances in this by Timmy Morrison is great, and it's just one of those movies that I enjoy, even though it's not a happy movie to enjoy, if you get what I mean. But Caleb, have you seen Once We're Warriors?
Gotta be honest, I've not heard of this movie. What is it even called?
Once We're Warriors.
Once Were Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay, Once Were Warriors. Okay. No, I'm sorry, I've never heard of this. Sounds interesting, but I'm gonna guess it didn't get an American release.
Yeah.
So I gotta give it.
Yeah, Cameron, have you seen it?
So I actually have heard of this film. I heard of this film for the first time yesterday. So I was looking up Cliff Curtis's filmography because I watched Dr. Sleep yesterday. No spoilers for later. Definitely not. But I haven't seen it. I've heard of it, but I have not seen it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be risk, but I got to talk about it anyway. But it goes back to Caleb. What is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Ooh, okay. I gotta think for a second. There is a book right here that I am holding on to because it's one of the few movies where I actually love the book as well, but I'm waiting because I think I might be smarter to wait and save that for later. But you know what? This is a show where you take risks, where you act silly, you make dumb decisions. So I'm going to do it now. This is the book, and I love this book. It's The Disaster Artist, and that's the movie. It is another true story adaptation, and I don't care because, again, you have James Franco playing Tommy Wiseau, and that's all I need in life. So yeah, and then all the cameos and everything, and oh hi Mark, and it really does capture the essence of who Tommy Wiseau was and who Greg Sestero was. So yeah, I think this probably should be on this list. I don't think it will get on, but it's Rankin. You gotta take risks.
Yeah. But Cameron, what do you say about The Disaster Artist?
I did not hit her. I did not. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark, and throws a water bottle. And that scene where they're filming it, and it's taking so long, is incredible. And there's a lot of great moments in this film. I think one of my favorites is the set looks just like the alley outside. Yeah. Well, why don't we just film in the alley? It's real Hollywood movie. And it's like
no Mickey Mouse stuff. No Mickey Mouse stuff.
And I think there's a lot of great moments, and I think Franco is incredible in this movie, but I don't love the movie as a whole. I've seen it twice. And I think Franco's James Franco is hilarious. The rest of that movie kind of just doesn't hit for me, so I'm gonna say no to it. Also, forgot it was based on a book entirely.
But yeah, this is one I actually am going to say yes to. I do like this movie, and it's when I heard this was going to be made when they announced James Franco as Tommy Wiseau, I was like, this could be interesting. I wonder how it will go, and it worked stranger than what I thought it was going to, but it worked. So it would have been the easiest for me. Which means, Cameron, it's back to you for your next nomination.
Yeah. I need to think here of what I really want on this list that actually has a shot at getting on this list. Almost 100% positive that Boatman has never seen the movie I would like to bring up next. So I'm gonna go with one that I know he's seen because we talked about it when we were both realized we were on the show. I'm gonna go with another movie that if you've seen me on Rank before, you've seen me talk about it at length because I love this movie. For those who don't know, my favorite actor is an absolute crazy man by the name of Shia LaBeouf. LaBeouf is insane. But Shia LaBeouf is also this generational / Nick Cage, where he is incredible, but he's also crazy and just ends up in a lot of terrible, terrible films. But he's in a really, really good film based on a book, and that book is called Holes. Holes is fantastic. This is one of the few movies on my short list where I've actually read the book that it's based on. The book's fantastic. The movie's great. It's kind of broken up into two stories where one is in the present, and it's like a really fun, like, teen coming of age story about like two friends who go on the run at this camp that they're like forced to be at because they've both been arrested. And then the other half, you have this really interesting like Western, like this Western dramatic love story, and it's like the stories end up coming together in a really interesting way. I think it's fantastic. I love it. It's a movie that I teach the children when I worked at film camp in the summer. Holes. From the direction of The Fugitive.
That is true.
Caleb, Holes is on the table. What do you say about it?
Look, okay, I'm not going to act like this movie is like perfect. It's not. But there's a genre of film that I don't like, typically, or at least don't love. And it is these kind of like 80s and 90s like kid adventure movies. You got stuff like The Goonies, Monster Squad. You could argue like The Sandlot fits in there, which are all movies that are fine. I think Cole does that story and that type of movie the best. I think all the kids are perfect. John Voight, Sigourney Weaver, and Tim Blake
Nelson
as the villains. They are amazing. They are legit. Like, they're playing it just over the top enough. Like, over the top enough to where you take it seriously and not too over the top, but you can still laugh at it and have a good time with it. And I love that. All the kids have defined personalities, and I have actually read the book, and the book is also very good.
It's one of the 5 films on my list where I read the book.
But yeah, so that was a yes, Caleb?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
But yeah, when Kevin said yes to being on this, someone brought up in the chat. Well, what I was about to say, when someone said in one of the chats, I'm in that Holes and Cool Runnings aren't on Disney Plus yet in the States. I looked them up, and I found that they were on Disney Plus over here, which is weird.
That's fine. Iron Holes on DVD, baby.
which I thought was weird because I just assumed everything on Disney Plus is the same all around the world. But anyway, I watched Holes. I'm not a big fan of Holes, so I'm sorry. But I thought it was fine. I would have said no because I don't think it's there, but it makes it list anyway. But yeah.
I feel like part of it is that you weren't like a kid when you first saw it. Because like when you're a kid and you see that, you're just like, despite the fact that they're like literally in a place that's borderline worse than prison, they're having a great time most of the time, and I kind of want to hang out with all these kids.
Yeah. I mean, it probably is one of those.
Darkbag, Zigzag, Caveman, Zero, Twitch,
Magnets.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is one of those ones in which you have to be a kid to sort of appreciate it more. But yeah,
Blake Nelson as mom,
X-Ray, Mr. Sir,
Marion Seville.
The rap at the end of the movie, where they all rap. Dig it.
That's it.
But anyway, we could talk. Kevin and Caleb could talk less about Holes, but it's not a show all just about Holes. But yeah, next one I'm going to bring up is it is Christmas time, and I got a lot of shit for not deciding to do a Christmas topic. But I just didn't want to. But then I actually come to realize there's a lot of Christmas movies based on books, and this one is most definitely a Christmas movie. Come at me, Kirk. But I'm bringing up Die Hard. I really love Die Hard. Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber, Bruce Willis as John McClane. This is just a great action movie. I can't remember what the book is. I think the book is called something.
It's called Nothing Lasts Forever.
Yeah, that's it. I knew it was something that sounds like a James Bond book, to be honest. But this is a great movie, and I haven't read the book, but watching this movie makes me want to track down this book and actually read it, see how sort of different it is and that. But Caleb, what do you say about Die Hard?
I hate that you're going to me first. Oof. Okay, yeah, Cam, you go first.
Okay, here's my big problem with this. The movie has basically nothing to do with the book. The movie takes the idea of there is a guy in a building and there are also terrorists there, and then takes literally nothing. In the book, we don't have Hans Gruber. We have, and I kid you not, we have little Tony Gruber, who like knows John McClane from their time being in the army together or something. Like there's a personal vendetta there. Like the book doesn't make sense, and the movie just blatantly ignores the book for the most part, and so because of that, I have to say no, because it's not really based on a book; it's based off of the idea of a book.
No, that's fair. Caleb?
Well, that logic kind of sold me. I was on the fence, and that pushed me off the fence, off the Nakatomi Plaza, so I got to give it a no.
But Caleb,
It's on my short list, but I had a question mark beside it.
Okay, I'm going to go. Ooh, now we're getting tougher. I think I'm going to bring up. Yeah, I'll do this. This is another one that is based on a true story. Actually, no. Or yes. Okay, I'm sticking with that one. This is based on a true story, based on the real story of Henry Hill, the gangster. I am going with Goodfellas. I believe the book is actually called like Wise Guy or something like that. But it's really good. It's Goodfellas. You can't really go wrong with it. Joe Pesci is brilliant. Robert De Niro is the best. Jimmy the Gent Conway. How am I funny? What's so funny about me? Huh? I love that movie so much. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is on the table. This is an easy yes. I really love this movie. And yeah, this is one that I also really didn't watch for ages until very recently. But I mean, this movie is great. Joe Pesci is great in this. But yeah, Cameron, what would you have said about Goodfellas?
It is not my favorite Scorsese movie based on a book. It is not my favorite Scorsese movie based on a book based on a true story. I also haven't seen it, so I don't say no. It has been in my Netflix watch list for months, and I haven't watched it yet. I'm sorry.
But Cameron, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Yeah. I don't know if I want to like keep being true to form for Cameron and bring up like teen books or movies, or if I go with this one, but I feel like this one I have to save. I'm gonna go for this and hope that it works. I'm sticking with the trend of me picking movies from somewhere in the 2000s to now range. I'm going with another one of my absolute favorite movies. It's based on a book. It was directed by the guy who wrote the book. I'm going with The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This movie is fantastic. I think Logan Lerman gives an incredible subdued performance. I think that like he's constantly got just like something right under the surface that he's holding back, and then the scene where he finally releases it and he just blacks out and then wakes up and there's just a bunch of dudes on the ground in front of him and his knuckles are bleeding and he just like looks at these guys and goes, "Touch my friends again and I'll blind you." It's legitimately incredible. It's fantastically directed. This movie's heartbreaking. The ending of it is fantastic. Emma Watson's great in it. Ezra Miller's great in it. Dylan McDermott is fantastic as the dad who just kind of blatantly doesn't care about his own son. Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, Perks of Being a Wallflower. I know Malcolm watched this with me next year for the first time, I believe. So let's see what happens.
But yeah, Perks of Being a Wallflower is a movie I was really surprised by when I watched it. I didn't know if I'd like it, but when I watched it, I actually really enjoyed it. I love Emma Watson. I actually love Logan Lerman and various things. But I thought this movie was great, and I'm going to say yes. Caleb,
and I almost had a heart attack.
Caleb, what would you have said about Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Okay, we didn't need to have a heart attack because you knew I was going to say yes to this movie.
Yeah, but like when there's 3 yeses, it means it's more likely to get higher on the list, and that
is fair. This movie is very, very good. I think it's very personal to me actually because I was kind of in a similar situation to where Charlie was in, where basically my 2 best friends, my junior year, were both seniors. So like they were leaving. So my senior year kind of sucked because all my friends had already graduated and I was still there. So like that's kind of a spoiler. I am sorry. Ignore what I just said. But yeah, no, this movie's very, very good. I will shut up now.
They don't get back together. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what?
But anyway, it goes back to me, and I am totally going on brand with this one. I'm going
Right,
for
let's
it.
see which one it is. Let's see if it's the one I'll say yes to.
I'm going to go for Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Um, this is and Cameron was probably thinking I was going somewhere different with
No, I
that.
assumed you were going this way.
Yeah.
Going somewhere else, but
but yeah, this is probably one of my favorite ones of the Middle Earth series. This is probably my favorite movie of the actual trilogy as well. I think this one, I mean, this whole trilogy, we did that all the books justice, and I was almost tempted to just go Lord of the Rings as a trilogy, but I wasn't because I'm not going to do that. But yeah, Return of the King is definitely great because they actually managed to sort of balance everything out, and all the actors sort of felt like you were in Middle Earth, even though I perpetually live in Middle Earth my whole life. But yeah, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Caleb, what do you say?
Malcolm. You picked the wrong one. You picked the wrong movie. I get it. There are some people who this is their favorite Lord of the Rings movie. It's not mine. And I know this is a criticism that has been talked about to death, but I think it's accurate. There are way too many endings to this movie. The ring is placed into Mordor, and then there's 30 minutes of epilogue. That is the problem with Return of the King, is that it goes on way too long. There's stuff that could have, and not just that it's long, there's stuff that could have been cut. And I just think it's not the best of the three.
That's fair. At least you've seen past the first movie, unlike a certain Coho. Cameron, what do you say about Return of the King?
and I fully echo Boatman. You picked the wrong one. And I don't know if Boatman and I have the same other one, because if we don't, then none of these may end up making the list. But yeah, no, this is probably, it might be my least favorite of the three. I won't say which one's my favorite. But yeah, it's good. But if we can only have one of the three, this isn't the one I want.
That's fair. But Caleb, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Okay.
I'm gonna guess.
I'm gonna get this out of the way. This is based on a fiction book. This is based on a fictional book. It's another gangster movie. It is The Godfather.
Boom.
Yep, you got it. Yeah. I mean, it's The Godfather. There's not really much you can say about it, but that hasn't been said. So many brilliant lines, so many brilliant sequences. I love one of my all-time favorite moments in film history is when you cut between in the movie the baptism of Michael's nephew, and then Michael going and like commanding the murders. And we cut in between the baptism and the murders, and there's this great like duality. Because if you just showed those things apart, it's like they both kind of lose their touch, their edge. But together, they make this grand statement about Michael Corleone and the Corleone family, and I love it.
Cameron, what do you say about The Godfather?
This is not the best Godfather movie. And I know the other one is not. entirely based on the book, but half of it is. And either way, I don't love this movie. I think it's good. I don't like. It's one of those movies where I understand why people revere it and love it, but I just don't. So I'm going to say no to continue my war with Kirk Kalowski.
It's right, Caleb. I got you. I love The Godfather. And I mean, I'm glad you picked up this one, not one of the later ones, because I've only seen the first one as of yet. Just haven't got around to watching them, even though I know they're on Amazon Prime for me. But yeah. So Godfather does make the list.
I didn't even put it on my short list.
But Cameron, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
How many spots we got left? We got 3 spots left?
3 spots.
3 spots? Okay. I'm going to have to very quickly start giving up on a lot of things that I want. Because I have a solid 15 movies on my short list, and obviously we can't have 15 movies in 3 spots. As much as I think Caleb loves this movie, I don't think he'd say yes. I don't think either of you have seen that one. I don't want to bring that one up. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go prestige movie to counter The Godfather and hope that it works. I am going for a Best Picture winning film as well. I'm going for a Best Picture winning film that was released just a few years after The Godfather. I am going with my favorite film to ever win Best Picture. I am going with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I love this movie. I think this movie's fantastic. I think Jack Nicholson's incredible. I think despite how really dark at times this movie gets, it's a really fun movie for most of the film. I think Louise Fletcher is fantastic as Nurse Ratched, who just has this very silent menace to her, and just has all of these patients controlled by just speaking to them very nicely, and it's kind of terrifying. I think the ending of that movie with Will Sampson as Chief Bromden is incredible and heartbreaking. I absolutely love this movie. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Let's see what happens.
I'm going to keep this short. I've not seen this, so it's all on Caleb.
Well, the good thing is I have seen this movie, and it's brilliant. I want to highlight one little thing about this movie, and it has to do with Nurse Ratched. How a little thing, like the fact that even though everyone who's basically conscious votes that they want to listen to the baseball game, listen to the World Series on the radio, and when, because of a technicality, Nurse Fletcher says, nope, not going to do it. Nurse Ratched, played by Louise Fletcher. Nurse Ratched says, nope, not going to happen because of technicality. It is crushing. And all it is that they can't listen to a baseball game. And if you know me, that's a blessing, not being able to listen to a baseball game. But they make those tiny little victories, when they turn into tiny little failures, so crushing. And that's what I love about this movie. And you have a great supporting cast: Danny DeVito, Brad Dourif, Christopher Lloyd. This movie's really brilliant.
Christopher Lloyd's first film, if I'm not mistaken.
And Danny DeVito's first film.
Hey, Danny DeVito.
Can I offer you an egg in these trying times?
Hi, I'm Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
But it's back to me. And this is potentially going to be my last chance to actually get something on this list. So I'm going to bring up a movie from this series that I'm going to go for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I loved Harry Potter movies, and Prisoner of Azkaban is probably my favorite movie in the series. Directed greatly by Alfonso Cuarón. This is one that it really starts the turn from going from lightheartedness to darker storylines. But this one is just great, and I enjoyed every minute of it. The young cast has really grown from the first movies, and yeah, it could tell. But Caleb, what do you say about Prisoner of Azkaban?
Yeah, you picked the right Harry Potter movie. This movie is really fun. It's Alfonso Cuarón. He's great. He's one of the best directors working today. And yeah, this is my favorite Harry Potter movie. I don't know what I can say about it that hasn't already been said, so I'm just gonna give it a yes and move it over to Cam.
It looks like Cameron's got something different to say about this, but Cam, go ahead. Break it.
I'm not mad about this being on the list because I like this movie. I'm mad because this is not my favorite Harry Potter movie. This is probably my fourth favorite Harry Potter movie, if I'm being completely honest. But the moment you said it, I knew you had it on the list because I know it's Bowman's favorite. So, yeah, for me personally, I think Half-Blood Prince is my favorite by a lot. But that didn't make the list. So, yeah. Woo!
I'm not going to lie, if you put out Half-Blood Prince earlier, I would have. There was another one I would have said yes to if he had come up. But
my goal going into this was like, if someone else brings up my Harry Potter or my Lord of the Rings pick, I would have said yes, but I would not bring them up myself, and that was.
But Caleb, it's back to you. What's your next nomination?
Okay, my next nomination is going to be, I guess, my final nomination. Probably, maybe not necessarily. I do have a question, Malcolm. If a movie was based on a story that is in a book that is a collection of short stories,
You're not allowed to pick the Shawshank Redemption. It's not a full novel.
I'm not asking
neither,
about
neither is Stand By Me.
Okay, I was asking about Stand By Me, so I guess that answers my question. So I'm not going to go in that direction. I have to think of a different direction now. Thank you.
Both would be on my list if they were based on full books.
Also, with this being the last spot, we would have gone Cutthroat on it regardless.
Okay. Let's just bring it home. I'm gonna. Ooh, this is very tough.
Don't
I'll
do
just say what?
Don't do a Lord of the Rings one. Keep it off the list.
I'm not. You know what? Yeah. I like this movie. This is a good movie. This is a decent enough pick to make it out. No, I'm changing my mind because I forgot this is based on a book. Mary Poppins, y'all. Mary Poppins, one of the best musicals, one of the movie that makes me happy. I love this movie. I will be very upset because I will be sad, but I love Mary Poppins, and it's great.
Edward, what do you say about Mary Poppins?
This hurts me. This hurts me a lot. Because I like this movie. There's so much else that I want on this list. And there's like 2 other movies that I think have a really good chance. Which is, are they better than Mary Poppins? I don't think with good conscience I can say they are. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. As much as it hurts me, I'll say yes.
and Mary Poppins makes list. Yeah, I had the same thing because in my top 10 movies of all time, there are two musicals based on books that I really like. Mary Poppins is one of them. The other one is actually higher on that list. But yeah, I probably would have leaned to no, but do like both anyway. But Caleb, you have closed off the list. We've got our 12. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I mean, not really. Like, I think I'm happy with the list. I mean, obviously the ones I mentioned that didn't get on, sure, but like, and like Stand By Me, I think should count, but like whatever, it's fine. I'm happy with what made it, so I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I was considering Stand By Me myself, but it's one of those ones that be who knows. Yeah, I mean, I get that as well. But,
it's a short story. It's not a book.
But Cameron, did you have any honorable mentions?
So many. Rise of the Guardians is one that I love that I just didn't really think had much of a shot of getting on this list.
That's a book?
What?
That's a book?
Yeah, Rise of the Guardians is based off a book.
Huh.
Love, Simon is one of my personal favorites, but that was the one I kept saying where I knew Boatman hadn't seen it. I think it's incredible. Fantastic Mr. Fox is one I love. That was the Roald Dahl one I was referencing. I assume it's probably also the one Boatman was referencing when we both talked about a different Roald Dahl movie. My Lord of the Rings pick would have been Two Towers. That's my favorite. The Fault in Our Stars is a movie that I love, and I love the book as well. Bridge to Terabithia, Coraline, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, once again staying on brand with Cameron. Jojo Rabbit was one from this year that I was heavily considering because that's based on a book. One that I think very technically counts, and you do have to acknowledge that it does count, is I was considering The Prince of Egypt, which is based off of the book of Exodus.
No, if you're not going to allow Stand By Me, which is a segment of a book, you can't say that Prince of Egypt because that is one chapter. That is one chapter.
Parts of whatever compilation Stand By Me is a part of called The Book of Stand By Me? No. Is it called The Book of Exodus? Yes.
Yeah.
I had Blade Runner on my short list, but Blade Runner goes so differently from the book. Like, fun fact, the words Blade Runner never appear in the book Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. Blade Runner was stolen from an entirely different book called Blade Runner, which is about people stealing organs. Children of Men was one of the other ones I was debating at the end, as was Trainspotting. And then the Scorsese movie I was referencing when I said my favorite Scorsese is in the book. I love Hugo so much. I love it. And if we're going Scorsese based on true story, I'd go Wolf of Wall Street.
But yeah, for me, the other musical that I was tossing up between was The Wizard of Oz. And I really wish I brought that up instead of my throw out the New Zealand pick. But I also had The Shining and Doctor Sleep on mine. I had The Devil Wears Prada. Carrie was on my list. Bridget Jones' Diary. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was also on mine. I had Matilda at BFG. And I had another New Zealand one. I had Hunt for the Wilder People on mine.
Wait, that's based on a book?
It is. The book's called Wild Pork and Water Quest.
Is it too late?
But
oh no!
But yeah, now we get to the fun part of ranking them.
Oh man, this is where
just to recap, the movies that make the list, we've got Social Network, Catch Me If You Can, The Princess Bride, How to Train Your Dragon, The Disaster Artist, Holes, Goodfellas, Perks of Being a Wallflower, The Godfather, Cuckoo's Nest, Harry Potter and the Prison of Azkaban, and Mary Poppins.
Also, Malcolm, going back to something you said earlier, I'm assuming the DreamWorks series you were talking about earlier was Shrek, right?
That's the one I was talking about.
No chance any of those. And what do
Well, I mean, just like How to Train Your Dragon, I think that the first one is the only one that technically counts. The other one, I don't know too much about the book. And that.
All right, wait, give me a second. I'm not ready.
I think we're both thinking the same thing, which is what is the thing we can write that someone else might?
Oof, this is rough. Okay, oof.
Screw it.
This
I'm gonna
is
go for it.
rough.
I'm gonna go for it and see if my Hail Mary works.
Also, Cameron, Brian Nussbaum agrees with you on the Prince of Egypt.
Thank you.
Okay, Cam, let's see.
Cameron, what do you have?
I wrote The Godfather.
Caleb?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, I've got holes.
Not going off this early, Malcolm.
What do we do? I'm willing to change my vote.
Okay, Cam, change your vote.
I'll put Prisoner of Azkaban at 12.
Okay. Malcolm, we're just going to let you know, Holes isn't going to go off at least for the first 5 rounds. We are going to block Holes.
Yeah.
For like the first 5 at least.
Yeah, those that know me know I am.
Malcolm would rather vote against something he thinks is mediocre than something he hasn't seen. And that will be his downfall because it makes him predictable and allows us to use Wonka against him. I'm ready to go.
Well, I mean, it's one of those ones like I don't want to vote. It's one of those things. Like I personally just don't vote for something I've not seen, unless it's a case of it's necessary. But Cameron, what do you have for 11?
Sorry, hold on. Is Bowman written down yet?
I got it.
I still have The Godfather.
Caleb?
Cam, I'm going to put you in a rough position. How to Train Your Dragon. I'm sorry.
I mean, I didn't change my vote, so.
You don't have to put me in a rough position. I refuse to change my vote.
Well, I'm not changing my vote. So we're going to go to the chat.
No, we can make Malcolm change.
No. Yeah, make Malcolm. Malcolm, change your vote between How to Train Your Dragon and The Godfather because we're not going to the chat because the chat will pick Holes.
Yeah. Brian Nussbaum sees what you're doing.
You're not
Okay.
trying to do this. It's just happening.
Cam, if you give me Leroy and Stitch next, I will give you The Godfather now.
I can't Leroy and Stitch. What?
Sorry, I meant How to Train Your Dragon. If you give me How to Train Your Dragon next, I will give you The Godfather now.
Well, I am changed my vote.
Yes. No, screw it. Yes, I'll do it.
No, Malcolm. What are you saying?
I'm just going to do it.
I shouldn't have.
The game is
You gave me the option,
on,
Caleb.
gentlemen. The game is on. The game is on.
Caleb, what do you
How to
have
Train
for-
Your Dragon.
Cameron,
Goodfellas.
I've still got holes, but I'm not going to change my vote on this because I really can't choose between them. So we'll go to the chat.
If I go How to Train Your Dragon now, are you willing to go Goodfellas next?
Fine.
Okay. How to Train Your Dragon goes 10. Because after that's gone, I like and have seen everything on this list.
But let's see if Caleb has done what he said. Caleb?
I'm not gonna betray you like you did me, Cameron. Goodfellas.
I didn't betray you, I betrayed Coho, Goodfellas.
And everyone just wants to shoot holes at each other, but
Listen, I have now seen everything on this list and like everything on this list, except for I'm meh on this. I think we could eventually end up down here.
How to Train You God. The crossover movie we all want now. But Cameron, what do you have for 8?
I have Disaster Artist.
Caleb?
I have Mary Poppins.
I've got holes.
I'm willing to go Disaster Artist. I'll change my vote to Disaster Artist.
Cool.
That's good. I would have done the same thing. No way in hell Mary Poppins is going to be that low.
No, because I can just switch if need be.
I just know that a future Schmodown in the Geekdom champion is going to have issues with us not putting Lord of the Rings on.
He'll get over it.
As if he watches this.
Honestly, you're kind of right. Does anyone really anymore? Let's be honest.
If people aren't watching this live, then I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, I think we've still got Garth and Stardrew in there. It did go up to 3 at one stage, but Caleb, what do you have?
Mary
for 7?
Poppins still.
Cameron,
Princess Bride.
yeah, I put holes.
Malcolm, you need to realize that Holes is not getting off this
I'll
early.
push Poppins.
I'm, as I said, I'm stubborn.
Okay.
Listen, Malcolm, to quote Avengers Endgame, whatever it takes.
It is because it means I can focus on typing in things into banners, then changing my board and deciding what.
I'll say, Malcolm, if you had said Wizard of Oz in the initial round, I would have said no. So, yeah. Fun fact about me.
Hey, that's fair. Caleb, what do you have for 6?
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Cameron,
Princess Bride.
yeah, I don't need to show my board because you know what this is, but I'm actually I'll change it to something. I'm just going to keep you in suspense.
I'm going to be hurt by this. Yeah. No. This hurts my heart.
But yeah,
especially like the thing that really hurts about this is that like I am very vocal about the fact that I like How to Train Your Dragon and Perks of Being a Wallflower more than I like Holes. And I gave away How to Train Your Dragon to keep Holes.
The funny thing is, if we went to the chat, then it would have actually been holes.
Oh, absolutely. It would have been. But, like,
Yeah. But the chat is full of old men. That's why.
yeah.
Well, I don't know so much about Stardrew. I don't never seen him on person before. So.
I don't even know about it.
I assume Stardrew is an old man.
I assume Stardrew was Videotr's alien cousin.
But talking about old men, Caleb, what do you have?
Princess Bride.
Cameron.
Princess Bride.
But just to recap what we've got left, we've got The Social Network, Catch Me If You Can,
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
All
Nest.
of these films that are left.
and Holes. Cameron, what do you have?
I have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Caleb?
I have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
And that's all it needs.
Moment, I'm going to be honest. I think it's time.
Yeah, I was going to do the exact same thing.
Because you and I both have our first picks as
Yeah.
that are left.
And we'll give, since we've been kind of pushing Malcolm this whole time, we will give him the option.
And then I guess for number one, we're going to let Malcolm decide what happens.
Yeah, Malcolm gets to decide number one.
Cameron?
Holes.
Caleb?
Holes.
Yay, Holes!
So we're writing our number one down, right?
Yes. Which is Catch Me If You Can or Disasters, which
No, or
That's
Social Network. Catch Me If
that's
You
what I
Can.
meant. That's what I meant to say.
I hope
Which is actually really tough for me.
my sick meme reference that I've written about, or referencing those sick dank memes as the kids do nowadays, as like the youngest active member of this community. Just somehow I'm younger than Caleb Boatman.
We've got the youngest and apparently the oldest member because Caleb Boatman's and actually an old Tom Traveller. So, Caleb, what is your number one?
I'm unofficially 112 this November. The Social Network.
Cameron?
Catch Me If You Can. How about that?
Catch Me If You Can.
Okay. Fair enough.
That is my number 5 favorite movie of all time. So I'll take it. Graphic novels didn't count for this, right? Because if they did, I made a grave mistake. Graphic novels aren't books, right?
I mean, they are books, but I wouldn't have counted them.
Because I'm like, if I did this and only now realized that Scott Pilgrim would have been eligible, oh no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would have been bad.
Oh man.
But anyway, to recap the top 12 list, at number 12, we've got The Prisoner of Azkaban. At 11, we've got The Godfather. At 10, we've got How to Train Your Dragon. At 9, we've got Goodfellas. At 8, we've got The Disaster Artist. At 7, we've got Mary Poppins Show. At 6, we've got The Perks of Being Wallflower. At 5, we've got Princess Bride. At 4, we've got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. At 3, we've got Holes. At 2, we've got The Social Network. At 1, we've got Catch Me If You Can.
I'm so happy we got the whole over like The Godfather and oh man, people and Princess Bride. We did it. We did it, Reddit. We did it.
I think my favorite thing is like there wasn't any like overt collusion in this. It was just reasonable discussion. Like,
Yeah, and just, but yeah, I mean, with the panel I had, I'm not surprised. I'm not really surprised Holes was as high as it is because,
yeah.
but yeah, I'll have the poll with the new 5 options for the next one later today or tomorrow, whichever comes first. But Cameron, where can people find you online?
You can find me online at Full Metal Trivia. I currently run Full Metal Classic. We're on our season break right now, but our season finale with our championship between Brian Michaels, Jeremy Adams, Dustin Mason, and Jake Marangoni will be part of Full Metal Snowball. You can find me competing on Full Metal with my partner, Jake Marangoni. You can find me competing in Multiplex. You can find me doing shows around here. I think it's going to be 2 weeks from now that I'm back, I believe. Yeah. Is it 2 weeks from now, Malcolm, that we're doing that show?
Best movies of 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, you can find me back here 2 weeks from now. I think actually with both of these guys as well. Yeah. After this, I'm going to go back to watching movies from 2019, including the movie I was currently watching, which isn't the worst, but it's one of the worst movies I've seen this year so far. So that's fun.
And Caleb, where can people find you online?
You know where to find me if you really want to. Multiplex, other things, trivia, the works. Oh, NBE, that's a thing. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Bowman, we got to plug something that's coming soon.
Oh, yes. Okay. There's a podcast coming that really wouldn't exist if it weren't for this show. It's, I don't remember. We came up with a new name, and I can't remember.
I don't know if we ever came with a new name. We have the original name that immediately stopped working because some of you guys 19 years old.
Yeah, so it was Team 19, the podcast, and then it was like
19 and counting now.
But that's not it. But then we changed it. Oh, and I don't think we talked to you about this yet, Cam. Me and Coho were thinking.
Yeah, right. We change it every time we do a new show. Yeah.
No. We were thinking Beanbag Boys. Wait, you haven't seen Good Boys yet? Oh, you need to watch Good Boys.
Yesterday.
Oh, you didn't tell us? You watched Good Boys and you didn't tell us? Oh, man.
No.
Why didn't you tell us you watched Good Boys?
Also, yeah, people at home, peep my letterbox at C Holzman, CHOLZMANN. You can find me barely active.
You are the white Keith L. Williams.
Multiplex Entertainment, I believe. We've recorded 2 episodes so far and definitely need to record more. Yeah, we talk about a bunch of stuff from the perspective of people who were children in the 2000s and just like random stuff from our childhoods. Like I think our first episode that we're releasing is about the animated films released by Disney in the 2000s. We've got an episode about like 2000s pop punk music, like punk and pop punk. And then we've got some other stuff that we've got planned that we just haven't gotten around to filming yet. But yeah, that's a thing that's apparently happening. So yeah.
But yeah, that's been another episode of Rankum. Until next time, just keep listing shit.